decide that the things that I tried were in my life just to get high on. When I sit alone, come get a little known, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Gavin Hickson. I'm your 2016 first year board for the Phoenix chapter of the Gold Prospectors Association of America. Over the last few meetings, I told you guys I've been working on a little project for the club, and well, there it is behind me, finally. Got her all finished up. We got a recirculating system using the Gold Well Sluice, and it's being fed by the Wilson Brothers Prospecting Trommel. Works real good right now in the backyard with nothing running through it, so we'll be able to take it out here in the field hopefully in the next few days, give it a good field test. But I want to start off by saying thanks to Bernie Makowski of HM Research. He came and did a demo at one of our club meetings out here in Phoenix, and then he was nice enough to donate the Gold Well Sluice to the club. And then this year at the Gold Show out in Mesa, we ran into the guys from Wilson Brothers Prospecting, and they took care of us a little bit on the trommel. So thanks to those guys. All right, guys. So here's the basic setup. Just a quick note: this is going to be the first of 3 videos. This one will just be a real quick overview to show everybody there in the club exactly what it is we're working on. Video 2, I'll go into more depth as far as the different systems and modifications that we've made to this particular setup. And then video 3 will hopefully be early next week, an actual field test, about an hour from here. So keep in mind, video number 1, I'm sure you'll have some questions, but I'll try my best to answer them all in the second video. I just want to kind of keep this one short and sweet. So anyways, being out here in the desert, about 90 to 95% of the time when we visit the claims, we have 0 water. So we have to bring our own water with us and try to reuse as much of that as possible. Try to lose as little as possible. So we went with a recirculating setup. So we have our 3 tubs here, and the reason we went with 3 tubs is to allow us to run the water a lot longer and keep it cleaner. The water will get muddied up after time, so this allows us to keep that water cleaner longer. So we have 3 tubs using a siphon system in between the tubs. The Gold Well is dumping into tub 1, we're pumping out of tub number 3, and then the water goes up to the trommel itself. So when we dig the dirt, we'll dump it in the end of the trommel. It's a hand crank trommel. The rocks and everything that are too big to go through the trommel will fall off onto this, which we can shovel off of. All of the smaller stuff that fits through the trommel will then empty right into the Gold Well Sluice. All of the light material that's not caught by the sluice will go straight into the first bucket, and with this particular setup it's nice because we can literally shovel right out of that first bucket, shovel the muck right out of there, so it's really nice. Alright, so you've been out, you found your little honey hole, and you can dig in your buckets and you load up, I don't know, 5, 10 of those 5-gallon bright orange Home Depot buckets, and you bring them back. And after you've been prospecting a while, you're going to find that the most cumbersome part of prospecting seems to be classifying. When we saw this at the Gold Show, we thought that this would make quick work of the classifying. So what happens is you're going to bring your buckets of unclassified material, and we're going to dump them right in here to this wash tub. You can see there's quite a few spray hoses that are going to wash that material. The trommel itself is at a slight angle, so as you crank the trommel, the material is going to slide down through the trommel. So stuff that's too large for the classification will fall off the end, and everything small enough will exit through down into the Gold Well Sluice itself. Now you're going to notice one of the first things I tackled was we get a lot of spray off of this spray bar, and like I talked about being in the desert, we want to try to lose as little water as possible. So in the next clip, I'm going to show putting on a little cover that I made to reduce this water loss from the splasher. Alrighty, so here's that cover. It's some aluminum got from a little local place called what is it, Metal Supermarket or something along those lines. Anyways, pretty cool stuff. So this don't worry about getting wet. It's October 7th out here in Phoenix, and I swear it's still 100 degrees outside. So this just slides over the top. Clamps. contained in here, and it's going down through the sluice now. Alright guys, so here's the heart of the system. The HM Research Gold Well Sluice. Quite a few guys in the club happen to have one. I personally used one out in the field, and they work great. They clean out easy. Pretty sweet design. But anyways, what I was showing you before, the classified material that falls through the trommel hole comes right out of the bottom here, straight into the top of the Gold Well Sluice. This is not a factory option. I made this myself, and I'll explain more about that in the second video. The material is washed down the sluice. All of your heavies, including your gold, are going to get trapped in these little vortexes. All of the light stuff's going to wash right off the top. So this is a cool little part of this recirculating system to help save some water. So as the rocks come off the end of the trommel, there's also water that comes off the end of the trommel, and we don't want to just lose that into the ground. So it falls into this tub and gets caught. The rocks get caught on top of this screen, or we can just shovel the rocks right off. And any water that gets trapped in the tub, we can just run right back through the trommel. It also allows the rocks time to get hammered down here in case there's any gold left on it. Small gold will fall through the screen, get trapped in the tub, and we can run that back through the trommel. That gold will then get trapped in the Gold Well Sluice itself. Alright, a few of you might have noticed that this tub that is sitting directly underneath the trommel has some tubes that come out of it. The tub, I have to go buy another large tub basically. That was for a previous project that I was working on, so my final setup, it won't have those tubes coming out of it. That was for something I was working on prior to this project. It just happened to be the tub that I grabbed today. So when we do the final setup, that tub will be completely sealed. And once again, you can see it's catching quite a bit of water. And it's just, water that runs off of the trommel. It's just the nature of the beast. So you can see what a good job it's doing of catching that water. And then we can just use a little bucket and scoop right out of there and pour that water back into the system as we need it. So it works out pretty good. Alrighty, the last part of the setup is the recirculating tub setup. So your light material and your water is going to exit into that first tub. This setup makes it nice because we can shovel the muck directly out of that first tub. It makes it super easy. As the water progresses through each tub, we just use a siphon system. And I want to thank a local guy, Bob DeMarco. Saw it on one of his YouTube videos, so we stole the idea from him. Works great. Once again, I'll go through that in more detail in the second video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm subscribed to his channel if you want to check him out. He's building a pretty sweet, larger trommel. Worth following. So anyways, the siphon system keeps the water from the first to the second to the third tub. We're pumping out of the third tub, and your water is going to get cleaner as we go. So your first tub is going to have all your muck that we shovel out. The second tub gets a little bit of filth in the bottom. The third tub ends up with just a really light silt in the bottom, so it makes it really nice. So like I said earlier, we haven't actually field tested this yet, so it's just a guess, but I think we can get away with running 100 gallons for the weekend. The initial fill up, these are 27-gallon tubs, but you figure we're not filling them all the way, so 70 to 75 gallons to get started, and then an additional 25 to top off the tubs is needed. I think most of your water is going to get lost in the actual in the muck. As you're mucking out that first tub, the mud, that's going to have most of your moisture in it, and I think that's where you're going to lose a lot of your water. But we'll find out once we hit real world. Like I said, 100 gallons I think will do not an obscene amount of water. I think it's doable. So thanks for watching, and like I said, I'm sure you have some questions. I'm going to do my best to get those answered in the second video, and so stay tuned for that. Thanks.